behalf of the 6,000 or so people that are on the crime team and the 3,000 or so companies that support that crime team. This is a huge event for the program, and we're awfully proud of everybody that's put all the time and energy into getting us to this point. So good luck and Godspeed. We're all with you, Paul, and it's going to be a great day.
When we're ready to taxi, I'll tell you that Raptor 22 is ready to taxi. When I'm ready to go, I'll call Raptor 22 flight button 4 go, check in on the tower frequency to get clearance on for the unrestricted climb and the airborne pickup, and I'll ask for a left turn out for the airborne pickup.
Okay, control, I'm ready for engine start. Starting the right engine. Okay, Larry, here we go on the right. Stop and stand under Raptor 22, flight of 3, F-22 from spot 53 on the south side. Raptor 06 and 19, the F-16 from the guardman. Taxi. Am I cleared to go? You are clear. Power's coming. Right on up here. Everything looks good past at 14. And it's very smooth, very nice. Past at 15, we'll start to nose over the power back. Doesn't seem to get much better than that. Control, we'll go ahead and do the simulated approach on the way down here. We're back on the ground. And we confirmed that here in the control room.
2250 at 12 knots.
The collapse of the Soviet Empire was celebrated throughout the free world with an outpouring of hope and euphoria. Now the challenge is to guarantee a safe future in a world that has become increasingly unpredictable and volatile. Freed from the restraints of Soviet tyranny, regional conflicts exploded between ancient enemies. The world was reminded once again that brutality and war are not just political realities, but human realities. And freedom from aggression can only be guaranteed through strength. For nearly half a century, the United States Air Force has ensured the strength of America and its allies around the world. By consistently maintaining air superiority, the Air Force achieves the single most critical component in America's conventional deterrence and warfighting capability. Evidence of its success is that no enemy forces have bombed troops from the air for more than 40 years. The American people are very reluctant to sacrifice lives. They insist on winning quickly with overwhelming force and a minimum of casualties. Air superiority is the key to battlefield supremacy. It's the difference between triumphant parades and traffic jams on a highway of death. General Horner, the Desert Storm Air Commander, said that everything is possible if you have it. Little is possible if you lose it. The tradition of the Air Force has been to ensure the edge in battle by maintaining the edge in technology and training. Today, we are seeing our technological edge becoming smaller and smaller. The F-15C is already matched in performance and technology by several foreign fighters. By the time the F-15 approaches the end of its service life, early in the next century, the export of a number of formidable foreign fighters can be expected. Fighters like the European fighter aircraft, the Rafale, the FSX, as well as follow-ons to the Su-27, MiG-29, and the Su-35. Losing the edge in aircraft technology could undermine our assurance of air superiority and minimum casualties. Equally threatening, however, are the advanced integrated air defense systems employing world-class capability and mobility, like the SA-10s and SA-15s. These systems exhibited at the Dubai and Paris air shows are being indiscriminately exported to cash customers by Russia. Fortunately, there is an effective counter for these threats. In a time of dramatically shrinking budgets and forces, the F-22 provides a quantum improvement in fighter technology, capability, and RMNS, reliability, maintainability, and supportability. The F-22 does this with significantly fewer people and resources than the fighter it will replace. Even though the F-22 was initially designed as an air superiority aircraft, the flexibility of its design provides potential for growth into other roles. For example, the first F-22 will have designed-in air-to-ground capability with near-precision munitions without loss of stealth or aerodynamic capabilities. With the higher quality and increased effectiveness demanded by a leaner Air Force, the F-22 is a true force multiplier. Its balanced design incorporates an impressive mix of stealth, supercruise, long range, maneuverability, integrated avionics, and RMNS. All features required of the fighter of the future. Stealth restores the element of surprise to air warfare. It allows first look, first shot, first kill, long before an enemy fighter can detect and engage the F-22. It has itself become a battle statistic. Stealth degrades the effectiveness of the most modern combined air defense system. By shrinking the enemy's engagement envelope, stealth provides greater lethality and survivability through surprise. And there is no effective, affordable counter to stealth today. Supercruise allows the F-22 to fly at supersonic speeds without afterburners, complementing stealth by further shrinking the enemy's engagement envelope. It shortens the enemy timeline to detect and engage, thus increasing survivability. It allows the pilot to engage or disengage at will, and increases the F-22 radius of action. The overwhelming advantage provided by F-22 capabilities is shown in this comparison of the F-22 and a conventional fighter penetrating the same integrated air defense system at high altitude. The stealthy F-22 is supercruising at about 1.5 times the speed of sound. The non-stealthy fighter is flying about 95% of the speed of sound. This computer-generated illustration, using notional but realistic parameters, indicates that the F-22 would survive and penetrate to conduct the counter-air mission. Maneuverability is crucial to fighter effectiveness. With integrated thrust vectoring, the F-22 has remarkable agility and exceptional maneuverability. F-22 integrated avionics combine or use sensor, navigation, communications, and electronic combat information and present it to the pilot in an easily understood format that enhances his situational awareness and reduces his workload. The system frees the pilot to manage the mission, not the sensors. Reliability, maintainability, and supportability were designed into the F-22 to produce an aircraft that requires fewer support people and less logistics resources. The F-22 is designed to outperform the F-15 in all RMNS categories. It is being designed to fly twice the number of consecutive combat sorties and to be twice as reliable. It is being designed to require half the number of maintenance hours per flight hour and to combat turnaround in a third less time. The deployment of an F-22 unit requires fewer than half the C-141 airlift support of a comparable F-15 unit. The balanced F-22 capabilities crucial to dominating fighter operations in the 21st century can only be designed in, not added on. In the Global Reach, Global Power White Paper, the Secretary of the United States Air Force called the F-22 critical to accomplishing the Air Force mission. In air superiority, the Air Force is not interested in an even match. Stealth and advanced weapons give the capability to command decisive force and wield it to great effect. To allow our nation to lose the edge in air superiority will threaten American lives, an alternative that would be unacceptable to the American people. In an unpredictable and unstable world, the United States must maintain the capability for overwhelming air superiority. The proliferation of advanced fighters and highly sophisticated air defense systems, combined with continued foreign technological advances, will make present U.S. fighters increasingly vulnerable. In order to support our national strategy and do more with less, the F-22 is the answer.
The information and capabilities shown in this video, which are identified with the F-22, are notional and do not represent actual F-22 capabilities which are classified. Rather, they represent the conceptual type of technologies that are being used in the design of the F-22.
The fact is, civilized society is under siege. The world is populated by renegade nations and extremist factions willing to use any method available to spread their beliefs. These potential enemies continue to modernize and upgrade their military capabilities. As America moves into the 21st century, the requirement for air superiority over potential battlefields remains the most critical part of our nation's security. Because of air superiority, our armed forces have not been attacked from the skies in more than 40 years. Air-to-air and air-to-ground dominance shortens wars and saves lives. One lesson driven home again and again is the absolute imperative of air domination.
The F-22 ensures that the United States Air Force has the most advanced technology and the most capable conventional deterrent force in history. The F-22 will maintain air superiority well into the 21st century. As a step towards that goal, the Lockheed-led F-22 team has developed a concept simulator that demonstrates the revolutionary capabilities of the F-22. These capabilities include next-generation stealth, supercruise, agility, and advanced high-speed avionics that give the fighter pilot unprecedented situational awareness. In the next few minutes, you'll see these concepts come alive in one of the most innovative cockpit simulators ever developed.
The F-22 concept demonstrator accommodates a wide-angle head-up display and 6 full-color head-down monitors, providing the visual interface between the pilot and the F-22's highly sophisticated integrated avionics. In the center, the situation display provides the big picture of the entire battlefield environment. The attack display shows precise information about targeted enemy aircraft and weapon firing parameters. The defense display provides critical ground and air threat capabilities using audio cues and color symbology. The store's management display gives inventory and status information on internally held weapons and expendable countermeasures. The F-22's versatility makes it a formidable multi-role aircraft, capable of performing both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions with no loss of stealth or aerodynamic performance. In the first mission simulation, sensors quickly identify 4 aircraft as hostile Su-27s. Their altitude is 40,000 feet. The F-22 is supercruising at 1.4 Mach, undetected by the enemy's radar. The threat's engagement envelope is significantly smaller against the F-22, providing the pilot with a first look, first kill capability. With the flip of a single switch on the throttle, the pilot targets and prioritizes the 4 Su-27s. The first target is indicated by the filled circle. Four AMRAAMs are away and have impacted all threat aircraft before the F-22 has been detected by the enemy. In the second mission simulation, the F-22 becomes a versatile multi-mission aircraft capable of performing both air-to-air and air-to-ground roles on the same mission. The F-22 is carrying internally 2 1,000-pound Joint Direct Attack Munitions, or JDAMs, and 4 air-to-air missiles. In this simulation, a pre-planned route guides the F-22 to a target defended by surface-to-air missile sites and 2 enemy fighters on combat air patrol. As the F-22 advances undetected around the fighter cap, the pilot places the 2 fighters in the shoot list. While following the bomb fall line on the head-up display and waiting for the bomb release or drop cue, the pilot monitors the position of the fighters and avoids the ground threats. The demonstrator allows the pilot to simulate the radar signature of a current fighter facing this same scenario.
SAM launch. Chaff flare. SAM launch.
This changes the situation dramatically. Today's fighter would be detected by the ground threat and enemy fighters and would come under immediate attack.
Launch.
Okay, SAM launch, stroke 8, nose 5, low. Negative contact.
The current day fighter would be forced to react, defend, or risk a mission abort, and would possibly not survive without a support package of jamming and defense suppression aircraft.
Chaff flare. Chaff flare.
The F-22 can operate with impunity against the same threats. Its capabilities allow it to stand alone, without support, with stealth and supercruise allowing an undetected approach to the target. The 2 internally carried JDAMs are released and guided to the target by the Global Positioning System. The F-22 turns quickly, avoiding detection by the surface-to-air missile site. The pilot switches to air-to-air, launching 2 AMRAAMs at the enemy fighters. All targets are destroyed. In the last scenario, an F-22 and his wingman escort an F-15E strike package across a heavily defended border. The F-22 has the capability to relay information to other flight members through an intra-flight data link, or IFDL. The IFDL allows F-22 pilots to share critical information such as fuel and weapon status without having to break radio silence. The F-22s identify 8 Su-27s flying in 2 groups at 35,000 feet. 4 Su-27s detect the F-15 strike package and turn to attack. The lead F-22 pilot automatically places the 4 bandits in his shoot list. The information is immediately data linked to the wingman, who targets the remaining 4. When in range, the F-22s launch 8 AMRAAMs. all targets are destroyed, clearing the way for the strike package and gaining complete air superiority over the target area. Stealth, speed, agility, advanced integrated avionics, and armament. The F-22 has the muscle, along with the reliability and maintainability, to sustain sortie rates twice those of the aircraft it is designed to replace. By combining these advanced technologies, the F-22 provides an unstoppable force, ensuring future victory for the United States Armed Forces. The F-22, premier American technology, committed to excellence for air domination in the 21st century.
The briefing started about 2 hours before the flight takeoff time. All the mission control people that would actually conduct the test, as well as the maintenance, the test pilots, the chase pilots, were part of that briefing. The 2 hours covered every aspect of the flight, not only the details of what would be done, but the details of the airplane and its condition. In the meantime, the maintenance people had been pre-flighting the airplane for the past 12 hours, getting it ready for flight. And once it was ready, I went out to the airplane along with my crew chief and support personnel and waited for the final walk-around inspection of the airplane. There are several people that are key to getting the plane ready, but for me, the most important person is the crew chief, Larry Simpson, shown here. When Larry finally tells me the airplane's ready to go, then I know we're actually going to fly the airplane. I wait until the last few minutes, and then Larry and I take the time to walk around and take a look at the airplane together. That last inspection's a chance to touch and feel and get a sense of how the airplane is for the day, and talk with Larry about the final procedures we'll go through before we launch. Once I'm satisfied with it, climb aboard and get ready to start the engines. The airplane's actually very simple to operate. It only takes a few switches to get it started. And once we get it started, we have to go through a number of checks with the airplane to get it ready for flight. Once we get the engines up and operating and get a few of the checks out of the way, it's time to taxi. The airplane is very conventional in the ground handling portion of the flight. The nose wheel steering is two-position, high gain and low gain, just like an F-15, but the brakes are fly-by-wire. There is no physical connection between the pilot and the brakes, very similar to the flight controls. And the brakes turn out to be very responsive and very powerful in the airplane, and we've tested it a number of times on the ground. Once we get out on the runway, I'm joined by my primary chase pilot and my photo chase pilot. On the right, my primary chase pilot, John Beasley, is given the signal to launch. He pushes the power up and begins his takeoff roll. John will lift off and pull the airplane up to a downwind position where he gets ready to do what's called an airborne pickup. With a final salute, I send off Lieutenant Colonel Steve Rainey in the backup chase and primary photo chase aircraft. He will get airborne and join with John as they come around behind me to call my release brake signal. I go through some final flight control checks. Here you can see the nozzles moving with the flight controls. The vectoring is an integral part of the flight controls of the airplane. I'm standing by for that final call from John. He'll give me a 30-second call from his position here, which alerts me to get ready for launch. At 10 seconds, I'll push the power up on the airplane. At John's call to release brakes now, the power comes up, and I start the takeoff roll. Initially, little heading corrections on the nose wheel steering reflect fairly large motions in the rudders, and that's absolutely normal. 110 knots, I start to stick back very slightly to see that the nose will come up, and at 140, continue the rotation on up to about 12 degrees of pitch attitude for the liftoff. Once I'm airborne, one of the first things I do is put a little wiggle in the wings right there to make sure that my ailerons are correctly hooked up. I begin a shallow climb out to about 210 knots and then start a fairly vigorous pull up to 20 degrees of pitch attitude. The chase airplane comes aboard, but he's struggling at this point to stay up with me. The airplane has a lot of power, and even with the landing gear down, it climbs out very steeply. The photo chase comes aboard on the left side, and we begin to climb on up to 15,000 feet. The airplane's a very solid feeling machine all the way up, and once we get on conditions at 15,000 feet, we take a look at some very simple handling qualities tasks. The chase airplane's very close to me the whole time, watching for condition of my airplane and make sure that if anything goes wrong, he can assist me. We also took a look at the engines, and this is a real high point of the airplane. Pratt & Whitney's done a fantastic job with the engines. They operate very, very smoothly with almost no vibration. You can tell no difference between idle and military power. We also took a look at the roll characteristics of the airplane with small 30 to 30 degree bank angle changes. The airplane's actually very snappy for a fighter of this size. It's more like an F-16 in quickness and agility. Here we're seeing some control motions with the rudder. Again, just relatively gentle maneuvers to see that the airplane responds just as predicted in the simulations, and it did. Some more bank-to-bank rolls, and once we've finished up the tasks at 15,000 feet from speeds from 240 down to about 148 knots, we will bring the gear up and take a look at the characteristics of the airplane and what we call a clean configuration. Landing gear comes up, and once it does, the airplane is very, very smooth. There's absolutely no buffet, and characteristics are excellent. Again, with the gear up, we'll look at some of those relatively mild handling qualities characteristics, such as bank-to-bank rolls and some of the control inputs. Here you'll see bank-to-bank rolls with partial and full stick. And again, the airplane is very quick, very cat-like and agile in the response. Here's a partial stick input followed by a full stick input. This is about 225 knots, about 0.5 Mach, and we're at 20,000 feet for these maneuvers. Here's formation, one of the real delights of the airplane. It's very stable, and we use the cameraman as a director in this case to help me make relatively rapid and quick changes in position while flying the wing of the F-16 here. Gave us an excellent opportunity to evaluate the what we call high gain or high pilot workload tasks such as formation and make sure that it had good handling qualities. And it does. The airplane can be repositioned quickly and accurately on the wing. And here I'm following some hand motions of the cameraman to make these position changes. Thrust response is excellent under these conditions. The maneuverability is very good, and your confidence in the airplane builds up rapidly. I've only been on the wing here just about 2 minutes, and already I'm feeling very comfortable moving in and out fairly rapidly on the lead airplane. We maneuvered in this clean configuration with the gear up for about 5 to 10 minutes. We maneuvered from 20,000 feet down to 15,000 feet and did a number of maneuvers such as gentle bank angles and dives and climbs with the F-16 leading. Once we completed that, we put the landing gear back down and took a look at the handling qualities while I flew formation with the landing gear down. This is an area where a lot of airplanes become a little bit less responsive and a little bit poor handling qualities because of the slower speeds. But the F-22 had that same positive, solid sense about it that I saw with the landing gear up. Here you see me in formation on the wing, again making the small corrections as directed by the photographer in the back seat of the F-16. Once we completed the gear up and gear down flying qualities, we brought the airplane back for landing. Down at the lower altitudes, again, excellent handling qualities. From about 4 miles out, we set up for a straight-in approach. The handling characteristics are quite conventional in the gear down of what we call power approach phase of flight. You can see that photo chase and the safety chase airplanes tucked in here real tight as we come around the turn, giving me one last final check on the landing gear and the condition of the airplane. Coming in close to final, the airplane floats very nicely, can be flared, and touches down very softly. Once on the ground, we hold the nose up for aero braking to bleed off some airspeed. I deployed the speed brakes just as the nose came down for touchdown. And that also helps dissipate the airspeed. And then applied the brakes with about 5,000 feet remaining and brought the airplane down to fairly slow speeds to complete the rollout to the end of the runway. Handling characteristics in the landing phase are really delight. It'll make any pilot feel proud to bring the airplane back and land it. It's a very easy airplane to land. Once on the ground and having a check from the crew chief to make sure everything is okay, we taxi back in front of the crowd to let them take a close look at the airplane. These are the folks that are really responsible for getting me in the air. And there are thousands of people not only in Marietta, but Seattle, Fort Worth, Pratt & Whitney, and the suppliers around the United States and in fact around the world that struggled for a long time to put this airplane together. We had a very successful, extremely successful first flight. Responsibility lies in those people to make that happen, and they did. After taking its bow, the Raptor came back to the nest and was parked by the crew chief. And once the engines were shut down, it was time to get out of the machine and meet the final ritual as part of a first flight. These folks are not here to fight a fire, but rather to give me ritual dousing as part of the conclusion of this first flight. And I must say they did a good job.
That was for drinking.